One of the individuals with me suddenly spotted something. Off through the forest was a bright, glowing object. The best way I can describe it, it looked like an eye. It was bright red with a dark center. It appeared to be winking. It would sort of wink. It was shedding something like molten metal. It was dripping off it. It silently moved through the trees, avoiding any contact. It bobbed up and down, and at one point it actually approached us. We tried to get closer. It receded out into the field, beyond the forest, and silently exploded into 5 white objects. Gone. So we went out into the field looking for any evidence, because something had apparently been falling off it, and we found nothing. But while we were searching around in the field, one of the people with me noticed some objects in the sky to the north. There were 3 or 4 objects in the north, brightly colored, changing from elliptical to round, and moving at very high speed and sharp angular movements as though they were doing a grid search. While we were watching them, somebody else noticed to the south there were 2 objects just sort of hovering in the sky. One object approached us at very high speed, best guess is 3,000 to 5,000 feet, somewhere in that neighborhood, stopped directly overhead and sent down a concentrated beam at our feet. It was about 1 foot in diameter. The best way I can equate it is sort of a laser beam. We stood there in awe. Was this a warning? Was this an attempt to communicate? Was this a weapon or just a probe? Just as suddenly as it appeared, click, it disappeared. We stood there, really concerned. About that time, we noticed the other object to the south was sending down beams, about a mile, mile and a half away over Woodbridge Base. We had 3 different radios with us, the police radio, the security police radio, and I had the command net. All 3 radios were functional and we were talking to control centers. They were constantly breaking up and we had great difficulties communicating, but we were able to discern that on the police and security net that some of those beams were either falling into or near the weapons storage area, and there's a great deal of concern.
I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, to give me the spirit to do this video. As you saw in the beginning of the video, the Edomite speaking on the beams of the chariots, man, of what they call UFOs, unidentifiable flying object, which is identified in the scriptures as the chariots of the Lord, okay, the angels, okay? And you know he didn't make that up about the angels shooting the beam at their feet, man, okay? The Lord was showing those Edomites, okay, and those officers, his power, man. That's beyond any military might, okay, anything the police can do, okay, out of this world. So I'm going to deal with that within the scriptures and speak about the beams. So let's go to Psalms chapter 104, verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Okay, maketh the cloud his chariot, man. Now you see at the beginning it says who layeth the beams, okay, of his chambers in the waters. Let's deal with the beams in the blue letter.
Strong's H 7136. Kara. Kara.
Beams. To encounter, meet, befall, happen, come to meet. All right? To encounter. To encounter, meet without pre-arrangement. Now, what arrangement does the angels have with the people of the world, man? Okay? No arrangement, man. They just pop in and out when they want to, man. That's what it means, okay? They're just popping in, saying hi, and leaving, and coming back whenever they feel like it, man. And the people are capturing them on their cell phones, okay? In the skies, all right? Everywhere, man. All around the globe, man, there's different sightings in different areas, man. They're coming and then they're going, all right? All right, now let's go back to that scripture. Who led the beams of his chambers in the waters. So those beams that are coming out of the chambers are encountering the waters. Okay, who led the beams of his chambers in the waters. Now first, before we deal with the waters in the blue letter, let's go into a precept dealing with the chambers so we can understand that. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy door about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. What indignation? Esau's end, okay? Nuclear missiles, the destruction of America, aka Babylon the Great, okay? But at the beginning of this verse, it says, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. So what are the chambers talking about? It's talking about the chariots, okay? The chariots of the Most High, all right? Now let's go back to Psalms 104 and read it again. 104 verse 3. Who laid the beams to encounter, we went to the beams in the blue letter, okay, of his chambers, of the chariots in the waters. Now, when you go into Revelations chapter 7 verse 1, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore, which is Babylon, that sitteth upon many waters. Okay, now this waters right here ain't talking about the sea, the actual water. Okay, let's prove that and go into the blue letter in this scripture on the water.
Strong's G 5204. Who doeth? Who doeth?
Now when you read the first ones, it's water, waters of river. But when you go all the way down to the last one, it says, used of many peoples. Okay, of many peoples. So in this scripture, when you break it down the right way, is Babylon sits on many waters, meaning they got their military bases all around the world. They can't keep at home, like it says in Habakkuk chapter 2. They neither keep it at home. Okay, so going back to Psalms 104 verse 3, when you deal with the water, so let's read it again. Who laid the beams, something that's encountering the waters, of his chambers, of the chariots, okay, the angels, in the waters, okay, the peoples. Now, when you go into the waters of Psalms 104, verse 3, let's go into it in the blue letter.
Strong's H 4325. My.
It's going to say waters, waters, waters. But in the last one, it says of danger, violence, transitory things. Now let's look at the definition of transitory. Transitory in the Google definition, not permanent, brief, short, short-lived, short-term, passing, here today and gone tomorrow. Now, is that not what the angels do? They appear and disappear, man, in a twinkling of an eye, okay? And they do that all around the world, man. These different sightings of people, they see them. Some people see them for a while, a little longer than others, and some it'll pop up and disappear and reappear again on them, okay? It's here and it's not there. That's what it means by transitory. So let's go back to Psalms 104 verse 3. I'm going to read it one more time and move on to 2nd Esdras 13 chapter. Who laid the beams, okay, of his chambers, the beams of the chariots. Okay, the beam is coming out of the chariot and encountering the waters, the people on the planet. Okay, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. And that's what you saw that Edomite talk about, man. And many others, man. But that one's a real good one, man. They said the beam came down at their feet. Okay? The beam encountered them out of the chamber, aka the chariot. All right. So from there, let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 13, starting at verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. Talking about Yahweh's chariot, man. It was huge. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. Right, because it was big, like the Independence Day scene. Okay, you look at the Independence Day scene, the chariot covered the whole sky, man, to the point where it made everything dark. You couldn't see nothing but the chariot. That's how huge it was, okay? Verse 8. And after this I behold, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, yet there's fight. Talking about the militaries, okay, the soldiers. They were afraid that were coming to fight against Yahushua and the angels, man. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. We know why that is, because he's extraterrestrial, man. They have extraterrestrial power. They don't need Esau's military might on earth, all right? Verse 10, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, out of the chamber, as it had been a blast of fire, it's that beam, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest. Did not that Edomite at the beginning of the video, did he not say that it was concentrated fire? Meaning it was a powerful, powerful fire mixed together of hot elements, man. Okay, it was concentrated fire. That's what the laser beam is, man. And it says, and it fell with violence upon the multitude which prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Right. It was a scary, scary vision that Ezra saw, man. Imagine his mind when he saw that. He was like, dang, that's cold-blooded. Okay? And these militaries see these chariots all the time, man. They encounter these angels in the sky more than we think. Okay? They're always around the nuclear facilities, messing around. Okay? Which is why, if you remember, the video of the chariot that shot the warhead out of the sky, shot laser beams, man, out of the chambers. Okay? Shot those laser beams and burnt up the nuclear warhead and made it fall out of the sky, man. And the smoke was coming off of the warhead as soon as those lasers hit it.
At this stage, the rocket was traveling between 11 and 14,000 miles per hour when a saucer-shaped craft entered the frame.
It flew into the frame like this, and it shot a beam of light at the warhead. Now, remember, all this stuff is flying at several thousand miles an hour. So this thing fires a beam of light at the warhead, hits it, fires another beam of light, and then flies out the way it came in. And the warhead tumbles out of space. Now, when the lights came on, Major Mansman turned around and looked at me and said, "Were you guys screwing around up there?" And I said, "No, sir." And he said, "What was that?" And I said, "It looks to me like we got a UFO."
And the smoke was coming off the warhead as soon as the laser beam hit it, man. So it's undeniable that the chariots of the Most High, the angels, they shoot out laser beams, man. And that's going to take place in the end of Esau's world. They're going to shoot out laser beams along with nuclear war. That's going to end America, man. And it's going to be powerful, like they show you in the movie Star Wars, etc., etc. Okay? So you know that Edomite at the beginning ain't lying. Yahweh Shai scared the mess out of those Edomites, man, as a warning, like we coming. We got power beyond you. And you know that was laughing at him. I would have been laughing. All right? Now the last scripture, just to go into it real quick, Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 10. And the Lord delivered unto me 2 tables of stone, written with the finger of Yahweh, and on them was written according to all the words which the Lord spake with you in Mount Zion, out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Okay? And how do you think the Lord did that, man? Out of the midst of the fire. A laser beam, man. Okay? He used that power, man. He used that concentrated fire to mark those tables of stone, man. To write the law. So the laser beams are in the scriptures. That's the point, man. No matter what anybody says, it's scriptural, okay? And to see it on video and also see Edomites give their testimony of encountering it, that's the power of Yahweh Shai, man. And to be able to see that glory is going to be amazing, man. To be on the right-hand side and not on the left, okay? So I hope you brothers were edified. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, to give me the spirit to this video. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to your Akim out there that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.
That is incredible. Look at that. Beam me up, Scotty.